Hello there, guys, and welcome back to my channel for my live reaction and player ratings live stream following Chelsea 1, Copenhagen FC 0 in the second leg of our UEFA Conference League round of 16 tie. We are through to the quarterfinals, which is the best thing about tonight because the performance was everything but vintage. It really wasn't particularly fun to watch. As you can also tell, maybe by my voice, I am once again ill. Don't know why, so I'm not quite sure how long I'll be able to keep this stream going for because my cough might kill me. So let's hope that doesn't happen. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, at the end of the day, I'm happy that we won. I'm happy that we won. I'm happy that we went through. We didn't make it unnecessarily difficult. I'm very intrigued to see who's going to come out on top in extra time and potentially penalties between Molde and Legia Warsaw for our next opponents, this time in the quarterfinals of the Conference League. But yeah, it just wasn't pretty. Like Fire Red said, another win with another poor performance, but I will take the dub. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel, if I'm being honest. I found the team selection a little bit strange today. I was surprised that both Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo started. I was surprised that Sancho started because does that mean Sancho doesn't start against Arsenal, who will then? Very intrigued about what's going to happen there. Dylan says, what a great match. Well, who's your man of the match? Was it a great match? Well, I would love your optimism, bro. I would love your optimism. Who was my man of the match? You probably have to give it to Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall, if I'm being honest, considering he scored the only goal. I thought in the first half, our best player was probably actually Josh Achimpong. I thought it was a bit, unfortunate or maybe even a bit harsh for him to be subbed off. I understood that we needed Kukurea on, but I thought Chalobah had a terrible game, and I thought it would have made more sense. Or would have been better to put Achimpong onto the right side of the fence and bring Kukurea on at left back. Instead, I think that would have made more sense, but there you go. It was what it was. Ricky says, stacking clean sheets one game at a time onto Sunday. That is another positive, to be fair. Back-to-back clean sheets. Obviously, back-to-back 1-0 wins as well on the weekend against Leicester and now again against Copenhagen. So I guess positives. We try to take all the positives we can get. And yeah, we move. I mean, let's look at the stats overall, shall we, of this game? Because, yeah, it could have been prettier. Let me put it this way. It could have been prettier. Because there just wasn't that much in the game, if we're being totally honest. No, that was good. Let's make it big. I mean, you can see the stats there. We had 1.13 expected goals compared to their 0.97. I wonder how much of the XG happened in like the very last minute of the game. We had 5 shots on target, which compared to their 1 is obviously good, but we had not a single shot in the first half. That shows you how much actually better we were in the second half. Hold up. So who's through here? I'm confused. Anyway, we'll look at that later on. These are last week's fixtures. Not very helpful then. But yeah, we had 0 shots of any kind. No shots in total, no shots on target, no big chances, no nothing in the first half. Can I select the first half? Yes, I can. See, there you go. This is what happened in the first half. We had 0.00 XG. No shots on target, no big chances. Well, at least we didn't miss any big chances. It was just utterly woeful in the first half. I mean, there was just no intensity. There was no intention. There was no intensity. We didn't really know how to break them down. We set up in our very common 3-2-5 shape at the opposition, defended in a back 5. So that was just, it was 1v1 for every individual. And it was easy for them to double up on it as well, especially when Sancho got the ball or Tyreek George got the ball. So it just wasn't really going particularly well. It just really wasn't. It wasn't pretty. It was very lackluster. The only moments where something potentially dangerous happened is when it felt like the players decided to do something on their own, and rather than following the stringent game plan of building up slowly and everything else. There was one moment in the first half. Tyreek George went on a nice run, tried to play through Neto, but unfortunately overhit the pass. And a few more moments like that in the second half, which didn't lead to anything. But hey, the second half, you can't complain too much with 11 shots, 5 on target, 2 big chances, score the goal. Like, you can't complain about it too much. Yeah, first half was so dead. It was terrible, embarrassing. Luke also says, compared to the Leicester game, was actually quite good. Compared to this, the Leicester game was actually quite good. Yeah. Honestly, it kind of was. I mean, it's difficult to compare because I think Copenhagen are a better team than Leicester are. So maybe from that perspective, I don't really know. Honestly, I don't really know. I'm happy with both 1-0 wins. I'm not happy with either performance, if I'm being totally honest with you. So there you go. Make of that what you will. Now, let's look at the lineup. Like I say, I won't be here forever tonight because I'm feeling ill. And I'm struggling to speak, as you can maybe hear by my voice. But this is essentially how we lined up in possession. A back three of Badiashile, Tosin, and Trevor Chalobah. And then, interestingly, Josh Acheampong inverting into midfield from left back before being replaced at halftime by Marco Correa. Caicedo obviously in midfield alongside Enzo Fernandez, who played, of course, high up the pitch. Enzo in the second half, then replaced by Reece James. Enzo Fernandez replaced by Cole Palmer at halftime. Sancho started left wing. Dewsbury-Hall, of course, one of the other number 10s. Tyreek George on the right. Sancho then replaced by Nkunku halfway through the second half. And Neto started up front, was then replaced at the very end to give Genesis Antwi a right back that can also play left back from Cobham. His debut, 17-year-old, came on for the striker. Could have had a goal if Cole Palmer wasn't selfish or terrible at finishing. Could have squared it to Antwi, and Antwi would have had a good chance to potentially get himself a debut goal, which would have been nice. But yeah, this is how we lined up. This is how we turned up. Yeah. It wasn't that impressive, if I'm being honest. I mean, honestly, let's go to the lineup here. Let's look at some stats. Let's get through this. I'm feeling too weak, honestly, to be here for very long. So I'm gonna rattle through this a little bit, maybe. But guys, be involved. Leave me your thoughts on anything that I discuss that you want to share your thoughts with. Of course, if you have not already, please be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. If you haven't done that yet either, that would be nice. But yeah, Jurgensen, 20 out of 25 passes. Those 5 misplaced ones were all long balls. Did he make any saves? He made 1 save. Yeah, he's getting an average 6, let's be honest. Tosin got himself booked. Excuse me for time wasting. Bit harsh, but there you go. Completed the most passes in the game with 85 out of 89, so not too bad. Yeah, he was probably the least bad of the back three. 3 out of 4 aerial duels, I guess. I'll give him an average 6 as well. Moving to Trevor Chalobah, though, he had an absolute meh. Like, I don't know how Fopom gave him a 7.2. There was a moment in the first half where he just tried to run with the ball, got dispossessed, let Copenhagen have one of their first good chances, and it had to be cleaned up by a great block by Josh Acheampong on the other side. That was poor. There was a couple of really poor passes. There was some poor fouls in there as well. Just poor positioning, poor defending. Just really poor, honestly, just really poor, really disappointed with Chalobah. And that's why I said that I think, I would rather, if Kukurea had to come on, I would have rather put, taken Chalobah off and put Acheampong at right back or at right centre back. I would have preferred that, but there you go. Still only 4 misplaced passes, so you'll take that. 2 out of 3 dribbles, fair enough. 2 out of 5 ground deals, not great, is it? I'll give Chalobah a 4.5. I don't even think he warrants a 5, if I'm honest. Badiashile, a little bit less bad than Chalobah, but still some bad moments. I mean, a lot more misplaced passes than the others. Maybe he tried more line-breaking ones, fair enough, but there was a lot of bad ones, a lot of intercepted ones as well. 2 out of 5 long balls, not too bad, to be fair. 3 out of 3 aerials at least. I'll give him a 5 because he was still a howler waiting to happen, and I really didn't enjoy it. I really didn't enjoy it. And you're saying 5.5. I think that's way too kind. If I'm being honest, I think 6.5 for Tosin. I mean, 6.5 for Tosin, I could maybe kind of understand, if I'm honest, because we did keep a clean sheet and he didn't make any mistakes. So you know what? I'll give Jurgensen the 6, like we said. I'll give Tosin a 6.5. I'll go along with you, Fire Red. Why not? That pushes Chalobah up by 0.5 as well, gives him a 5, and gives Badiashile a 5.5. I think that's good. Maybe a 4.5 would have been a bit too harsh, considering we did keep a clean sheet, despite who the opposition may or may not be. As we move up the pitch somewhat, because obviously Josh Acheampong did still start within the back 3 to an extent, within the back 4 to an extent. So let's look at Josh's stats. Now, I heard somebody told me, and now we'll find out whether this is correct or not, that Acheampong had 0 out of 6 ground duels, which that isn't impressive, if that is true. So let's take a look at that. Can you see? Yes, you can, which is nice. 17 out of 19 passes. I like that. And an accurate long ball as well. 0 out of 6 ground duels. Not fantastic. Honestly, it didn't feel like that at all. To me, Acheampong maybe alongside Caicedo. Honestly, I wouldn't know who else you could say. Towards the end of the first half, Tyreek George maybe. But in the beginning of the first half, Tyreek George was struggling a lot as well. But I thought in the first half, Josh Acheampong was our most lively player, our most proactive player. Like, he seemed to try to make something happen, He was trying line-breaking passes. He was trying to get into the box, whether it was to receive a ball or whether it was to help to create. He got himself into the box with a nice dribble on one occasion as well, won a corner on another one. Honestly, I thought he did a good job. I'll probably give him a 7 on the day. Would people agree with that? Just waiting for the Sancho rating. Honestly, I'm not even sure what I'll give him. I'm honestly really not sure. Ricky says, what happened to Palmer's finisher, man? I don't know. I really don't know. It's slightly concerning. I won't even lie. Moises Caicedo was great. Was the most foul player. Won the most duels in the match in total with 7 out of 8 ground duels plus 1 out of 1 aerial duels. Very strong. As usual, 3 out of 4 tackles as well. 3 out of 4 long balls. 93% passing accuracy. What more can you want? Only in the first half, I would have liked a bit more like intensity from him, or not even intensity, but creativity. Like the team just wasn't making anything happen. It was very stagnant in front, and he just wasn't doing anything. So, yeah, I'll give Caicedo a 7.5. Just because I do think he stood out more than Achapong did, especially in the second half. Then again, had Achapong had the opportunity to play the second half, who knows if he wouldn't have been able to stand out more or just as much. But yeah, I'll give Caicedo 7.5. Do the stats maybe warrant an even higher rating? Yeah, maybe. But we're not just here to go by the stats. What I saw, like I say, in the first half, I wanted a bit more. Cojones, trying to play forward, trying to make things happen. But defensively, it was very, very good. So, a 7.5, it shall be for Moises Caicedo. We should probably cover Marco Correa straight away as well, because it did obviously come on at halftime for Josh Achapong. So it only makes sense to cover him here as we kind of go through the defensive midfielders and defenders. Interestingly, out of 18 passes, only 13 completed. Is actually poor, but there you go. 3 out of 3 tackles, though. 3 out of 4 ground duels, 1 out of 1 aerial. Honestly, we're much better in the second half, but still Correa didn't really stand out to me much. But maybe being a bit ill and the game just being very dull didn't help the situation. But I'll give Cuckoo like a 6.5, just above average. Like, could I give him a 7? I probably could. Could I give him a 6? I probably could give him a 6 as well. So, make of that what you will. We'll move on next to Enzo Fernandez, who, didn't have a great game. I mean, he had one moment where he received a ball kind of trying, when the team was trying to counterattack. He received the ball by Caicedo. He tried to play it on as the ball was moving and rolling, and he kind of just didn't hit it. It kind of just, when someone tries to like volley it from across and then they accidentally hit thin air. That's what Enzo Fernandez did, except with a pass on the floor, which is not something you see very often, especially at this level. And with players of Enzo Fernandez's ability and level. So that was poor. There was another couple of not great passes in there as well, I've got to say. Yeah, not his best game. Really not his best game. Hopefully back to his best against Arsenal. I'll give him a 5.5. Honestly, I have to give him below average, but I think if I go below 5.5, that would maybe be a little bit harsh. Caicedo had a stinker. Yeah, there you go. I do kind of agree. Now, if you're in disagreement with any of the ratings that I put out, obviously, please do tell me. Here we've got Enzo Fernandez with the 5.5. I mean, do people think I should give him even less than a 5.5? Enzo? Do people think it warrants like a 5 or even lower? Oh, I need to change the profile picture here quickly. Mafia would have even given Caicedo an 8, and yeah, maybe I could have done, but I still felt like I needed a bit more. Sorry. You enjoyed the first half. Sideways, no thrust, no action. Who doesn't like that? Even the Copenhagen fans took the mick out of the team. Yeah, not surprising, is it? But I'm glad you were joking, because I don't think a single soul on earth, whether a Chelsea fan, Copenhagen fan, or neutral, enjoyed that first half of football. I genuinely do not think a single one of them did. We move on and get to Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall and then Cole Palmer as well. Obviously, did replace Enzo Fernandez at halftime. We'll get through that. Next up, Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall got the goal. Nice goal as well, to be fair. Created the most chances, created 3 chances. Now, he had terrible moments as well. There was one shocking moment where we finally, for once, played ourselves out of the press, evaded the pressure nicely with a through ball, a back heel ball through the legs of the opposition by Tyreek George on the touchline into Dewsbury-Hall's feet. He turns, tries to spray a pass, Terrible pass straight into the feet of the Copenhagen defender. Just poor. But his goal was well taken. Now, was there a bit of luck involved for him to keep the ball the way he did? Absolutely. But he still had to, tank his way through it. And then a nice finish into the bottom far corner. I don't mind it. People know I'm not a fan of Dewsbury-Hall. People know that I don't rate him at all. And people know that I don't think he's anywhere near good enough for this football club. And I genuinely find it scary how we can have the most expensive squad in the world and such a bad second 11. Like we have such a bad second 11 that we need to play Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo in second legs of the Conference League. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just really poor. It's just really, really poor. How you can spend so much money if this average of a squad is shocking. But yeah, to be fair to Dewsbury-Hall, he did all right. He did all right today. He got himself a nice goal. Decent passing accuracy, to be fair, with 89%. Had a successful dribble. No successful long balls, though. 2 out of 3 tackles is nice. 5 out of 6 long balls. Ground duels is very good. 1 out of 1 aerial as well. It's weird. This is kind of part of the reason why I didn't give Caicedo an 8, because Dewsbury-Hall doesn't deserve an 8. But I said he's man of the match because he scored the goal, so he'll get it, and I will give it to him. But I can't justify an 8, so that's why he also gets a 7.5, but with the kind of man of the match kind of star with it. Let's quickly move on to Cole Palmer and see what he did. Now, he certainly took the game by the scruff of the neck as soon as he came on. Like, we immediately played everything through him. He tried to drop deep to receive the ball, to make things happen. He had a couple of moments where he could have scored, one very late on, where he could have played through Antwi, like I said earlier. Decided to shoot, hit it pretty much straight at the keeper. He was set up by Pedro Neto on one occasion. Nice touch, but then the following shot got blocked. And then another one in the first half, just after coming on. He dragged just wide. Yeah, it's just not really happening for him. But I don't think he was bad today. I'll give him a 6.5 because I do think that he helped us beat a better team in the second half. Strong passing accuracy with only 2 misplaced shots on target should be a bit better. Accurate crosses, sure. Like I say, a 6.5 he'll get from me. Next up, we'll do Tyreek George. Yeah, poor first half an hour. Got a lot better after that. But only 4 to 6 touches. I say only. We had... who was it the other week that played up front and had like 8 touches? So, there you go. Not in full 90, to be fair, but still. But yeah, good to see Tyreek George playing the full 90. Succeeding with 22 out of 28 passes. Not great, but not bad either. Should have done a bit better with his shooting. 4 out of 7 dribbles. Being successful is very strong. Unfortunately, no successful crosses, which is a bit of a shame. 4 out of 9 ground duels I'll take as for the winger as well. I just wish he could finally get his first goal. I'm really, really desperately waiting for him to finally get his first goal. It's really irking me that he still hasn't been able to get that, especially since we all know about that miss against Noah all those weeks and months ago now. Should just be a bit better. I'll give him a 6.5 as well. I think he warrants just over average, because he had a very good spell towards the end of the first half, sorry. But yeah, in the second half, he kind of struggled to make an impact. At least I thought as much. Jadon Sancho, he had his first shot on target today since the 26th of December. So that's something. Only misplaced 2 passes. 4 out of 7 dribbles. Succeeded, same as Tyreek George, which is nice, I suppose. 4 out of 9 ground duels. It's almost like they duplicated the stats. Of Tyreek George. It's kind of wild. But he was good. Didn't get past his man anywhere near enough. Was way too easy to get stopped. Looked like he was trying a lot harder, being a bit more direct and aggressive in the second half. But obviously he didn't play that much of the second half, only 15 minutes. So there you go. I'll give Sancho... what did I give the other fella? I gave Enzo 5.5. I give Sancho 5.5 as well. Yeah. Could I give both a 5? Probably could, but there you go. A 5.5, I will give them. A 6.5 for Palmer. Like I say, a 6.5 for Tyreek George as well. I just felt that Sancho in the first half, especially, we just did everything down the right-hand side. There was also one moment after a corner when Sancho ended up on the right, and he was instantly impactful, or more impactful anyway. While when he was on the left, he just never really received the ball. And then in the few occasions that he did, he couldn't get past his man. So I'm surprised that he does have 4 out of 7 dribbles completed. I didn't see that coming. Let's finish it off before we get into the other subs with Pedro Neto. Yeah, less impressed by that one today. had one moment where he was kind of through a goal in the first half, decided to not shoot for some odd reason, tried to, get a penalty out of it. Didn't, rightfully so, in my opinion. Most accurate passer, which is nice. Only like 100% accuracy, which is very good for his position. A lot of dropping deep and trying to lay it off, but then not always finding the right moment and time to arrive back into the box, which was a bit of a shame. But still, 100% passing accuracy, 2 out of 2 dribbles, 1 out of 1 shot on target. That was a decent shot as well. Forced a good save. 3 out of 6 dribbles. Ground duels completed. Yeah. He should have scored one. He should have done a bit better. And it didn't feel so different to having Milka on the pitch last week. But there you go. I was surprised again at him starting and at him playing so long, like nearly the full game. Because I'm pretty sure that he will play against Arsenal unless Nicholas Jackson is ready against Arsenal out of absolutely nowhere, which would be a big surprise for me. Just to quickly look at them as well, the subs. Christopher Nkunku, again, he's just terrible, isn't he? Like, didn't do much. Had 2 passes, 1 of them inaccurate, 1 shot, which was 0 out of 2 dribbles. 2 out of 5 ground duels. Bloody hell, it's really poor. And you played 25 minutes. I'm going to have to give you a poor rating. I really will. Reece James came on for the last, 10 minutes plus stoppage time. 6 passes, all of them accurate, which is nice. Lost a ground duel, lost an aerial duel. Not impressive, but that's an NA, of course, coming on late. And like I said, the debutant Genesis Antwi from Sweden, but of course from Cobham. Didn't touch the ball, essentially. Not even essentially, didn't touch the ball. Could have touched the ball, could have even scored had Cole Palmer played him in, but he didn't. So, that is a bit of a shame. Now, let me cough again for a second, which is, really great. I need to cough constantly. I didn't really decide on what rating to give Neto. I'll give him a 6. Honestly, I was tempted to give him a 5.5 as well, but I'll give him a 6. Worked his socks off, 100% pass completion, 2 out of 2 dribbles. It just about gets a 6 for me. Just about gets a 6. Reece James gets an NA, like I said. The same goes for Antwi, of course, with making his debut. And then as for Nkunku, because it feels harsh to give him like a specifically low rating, lower than everybody else in the team. I'll give him a 5, which is what Chalobah got, just to have like not, because I feel it feels harsh to like give him a 4, a 4.5, and like single him out as him the individually worst player. I think that would be a bit harsh, but he was poor, and judging by the stats, he was poor. So make of that what you will. Let me quickly check if Enzo Maresca made any comments post game, which could be remotely interesting. It's not. Okay, but we have some big news. This is actually... What is this then? Okay, we can also discuss the comment below in a second, because this one is quite big, ladies and gentlemen. And this big being that, according to foot rankings, not sure whether they are necessarily always correct, but they claim that England need just 1 win in the quarterfinals to mathematically secure 5th in the league, getting Champions League football for next season, which for us obviously would be huge. Now, we are currently 4th, but there's every chance we don't finish top 4. And if 5th gets Champions League football as well, it just increases our chances of making Champions League football, which we so desperately need. And 1 win in the quarterfinals, even ourselves should get it done, really. Obviously you've got Arsenal against Real Madrid. That will be tough. You've got Aston Villa against PSG, which will be tough as well. You've got Spurs who made it through. You've got United who made it through in the Conference League as well. In the Europa League. So this is looking good. Now, what L, I'm just going to call it L because I'm never sure how to pronounce his actual at. He says if Spurs or United win Europa, they get auto qualido, right? They do, which is true, but nowadays this doesn't actually take a Champions League spot away anymore. If Spurs or United would win the Europa League, they would get a Champions League spot, but it would not impact the 5 Champions League spots through the league. So we could have 6. There was even a theoretical outcome that could even allow 7 teams in the Premier League, from the Premier League to be in the Champions League, which, yeah, that would be incredibly rare. But in theory possible if, Arsenal but they would have to drop out of the top 5. But if, in theory, Aston Villa didn't finish in the top 5, won the Champions League, they'd be in the Champions League. If either Spurs or United win the Europa League, but aren't in the top 5 or 6, they would be in the Champions League. And if Chelsea, plus the 5 that obviously would be directly qualified in this scenario. So there you go. We have found our level. Shocking performance. Yeah, it's true. He should get the lowest. Yeah, he probably should, to be honest. What if United or Spurs win Europa? Would fifth still get it? Well, I'm happy I already answered it. Yes. Even if Spurs or United win the Europa League, 5th place would still get Champions League football. Otherwise, there's no quotes from Enzo Maresca yet, it seems. Not that Pys has posted them anyway. So the only couple of things that I have seen that are potentially relevant are Dewsbury-Hall saying Chelsea won the Champions League and the Europa League. It would be stupid to say we shouldn't win the Conference League. Yes. And honestly, still the only positive and the only reason why I want to or why I care to win the Conference League is purely is purely to have won all European trophies and to be the only club that can say that about themselves. That is literally the only reason why I want that. We go back to the lineup sheet to give our rating to the manager, Enzo Maresca. We'll see, because we didn't get any quotes now from him. We'll just have to make it up on the spot without any additional information. We'll just put him here with the keeper. Why not? Again, why did Jorgensen start? Is Jorgensen now the Conference League goalkeeper again? It's not just the Premier League goalkeeper, even though it was the other way around for 2 weeks beforehand. Strange, in my opinion. Strange. I don't know what's really happening there. As for Maresca, he started Achimpong. He rested a lot of the players. Still not happy that he started Enzo and Caicedo. But that's not on Maresca. That's on the recruitment team. Because if Amugu was a serious player, or if we signed a serious player instead, then I'm sure we would have rested at least one of Enzo or Caicedo. But we don't have anyone in the squad. So that is what it is. You even had Achimpong playing midfield from left back. You know what I mean? That tells you kind of everything you need to know. So with that said, we got the win. The second half was better. So I guess whatever Maresca said at halftime worked. So I'll give him a 6. But I'm not going to give him any higher. But I think because we still won, I can't give him below an average rating. I don't want to. And I will not. Now, let's quickly find out, guys. How? Oh, bloody hell. Okay, so Chelsea are on the verge of facing Legia Warsaw in the quarterfinals, which will not be easy. Now, there is still a small chance, actually, that because we are actually meant to have the second leg away and the first leg at home. But I read somewhere that I think if Spurs qualify or do something, then this would actually have to be changed because by London police, Chelsea or 2 London teams can't play European football on the same night, which I don't really understand. London is huge. Chelsea's not that close to Tottenham, but there you go. So it might actually change the fact that we have to play the second leg away from home, which would make the situation a lot easier because Warsaw away, crazy atmosphere, crazy pyros, crazy ultras, crazy fans, will not be easy. Now, obviously, you could say just, secure it, get there, kill the game, kill the time, the first leg already, if the second leg is away from home, of course. But yeah, won't be easy. But then again, they conceded 3 goals to Molde last game out. They conceded 3 goals to Molde in the first half last game out. So yeah, I'm pretty confident that we will get through. I'm pretty confident. It's all that I will say. And the others that we can quickly look at because they play some matter to us is Djurgården from Sweden beating Paphos. They're on our side of the draw. Same as Rapid Vienna beating Borac from Bosnia over 2 legs. They are also on our side of the draw. If I go to the... Where is it? If I go to the knockouts, there you go. So there you can see it. Yeah, this is our side. So we're playing the winner in, obviously we'll play Legia Warsaw by the looks of things, unless Molde get a very late equalizer or very late goal in that game to take it to penalties. We will, as long as we beat Legia Warsaw, play the winner of Djurgården in Sweden and Rapid Vienna in the semi-final, which would be crazy if we got Rapid Vienna because that would be in my country. So that would be very nice to go to that game. I've been to that stadium before. I've seen Chelsea even play in that stadium in a preseason game. So there you go. KDH was horrendous. He looked so laggy in the first half. I agree. I 100% agree, bro. What's happening with the coefficient? We actually just spoke about that, if you just skip back 5 minutes on the stream. not even 5 minutes, then you'll hear my whole explanation about that. Keep up the good work, Laus. Look forward to your stream, win or lose. Appreciate it, bro. Unfortunately, as I am ill and as this wasn't the most interesting game, I'm actually going to round this stream out now already. Like I say, I'm not feeling particularly great. You could hear me coughing throughout. So I'm going to end this one here. We'll be, of course, back on Sunday to react to Chelsea against Arsenal, which will be huge. Imagine if we could get a win there. I don't really think so, but something in me has a feeling, or at least the other day I had a feeling we might be able to get something. Now, the performance tonight didn't exactly make me think so again, if I'm being honest, especially because we didn't play that bad of a side. Like, we don't have that much more quality to play on Sunday against Arsenal than we did tonight. Now, obviously, Palmer can start, but the way Palmer's finishing right now isn't exactly doing so much either. Of course, Reece James can start. That will help. Colwell will be in the team, I'm sure. But otherwise, yeah, it's not particularly brilliant. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you've been here, no Arsenal pre-stream. We'll see. If I get round to it, I haven't really done pre-streams in a while because they just haven't gone down particularly well. People haven't really been bothered. So that's why I haven't bothered, I'll be honest. And it's also like a lack of time sometimes. But yeah, if I do have time on Saturday, I might squeeze one in. But we'll see. Jonas, appreciate for asking though. You know, that makes it more like that I do it if people ask for it. Absolutely. Ricky, rest up, bro. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate everybody that has tuned in today. You're the best. Hit the like button if you haven't done that yet. That would be nice. Subscribe if you haven't done that either. That would be fantastic. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for watching. Up to Chelsea, upwards and onwards. And I will see you next time.